Hello and welcome back to your part 3 of the Fresh Start New Beginners Pilates. If you haven't checked out 1 and 2, I recommend you do that first because this one leads on from those two. But other than that, grab yourself a mat, a little bit of space, and let's get ready for part 3. So we're actually going to start standing this time, and standing can sometimes feel a little bit different to when we're down on the mat. So I really wanted to change it up. So let's start with our feet hip distance apart, in line with the bony parts of the hips at the front. And we're going to stand nice and tall. Now I'm going to encourage you to either close your eyes or come into a soft gaze, whatever feels best for you. And I want you to find where the weight is nice and even through the feet. So maybe take a moment to shift the weight from side to side, back and forth. And we're just finding that equal weight through both soles of the feet. Once you've found it, let's go a little taller through the spine. Maybe we've been hunching over, sitting at a desk, just woken up. We want to find that length. So just like we down on the back of down on the mat, the back of the neck and the lower back have got this lovely natural curve. We're not sinking into the back. Let your shoulders soften away from the ears again, just like we did on the mat, where we let them glide down into those imaginary back pockets. And let's start to take a deep breath in through the nose. As we breathe in, remember our Pilates breathing. We're breathing just into the rib cage if we can. Maybe giving ourselves a hug around the rib cage to really feel that inhale. And then as you exhale, pull your belly button away from your clothing. Breathe out through the mouth and see if you can squeeze that air out. And deep breath in. And breathing out, feeling that lovely Pilates corset. Good. Let the arms relax. When you're ready, we're going to take some roll down. So this is what we've done at the end of both the other classes. So we'll take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, we nod the chin to the chest. And we're going to peel down bone by bone. Now, try not to send the hips back. Try to anchor your tailbone down for as long as you can. When you can't anymore, it slides up this imaginary wall. And we go up and over the legs, reaching for the toes. Now, it might be halfway that you can reach. You might be able to reach all the way to the floor. You might need to bend the knees, whatever you need. But we're hanging over the legs, maybe feeling the hamstrings. And then we'll take a roll up, bone by bone, send that tailbone towards the heels, restack through the spine. And we lift nice and tall. And we go again, we'll just do that a couple more times. Rolling down, maybe closing down the eyes if you've blinked them open, just to really feel the movement. We'll take a deep breath in here, and then we'll exhale, roll all the way up, bone by bone, standing nice and tall. Okay, this last one is going to roll us all the way down to the mat. So we're going to roll down bone by bone, up and over the legs. We'll bend through the knees, and I want you to bring yourself comfortably down onto the mat. So we're going to do something new again. So we're now in a seated position. I don't know why, but my mat's really rolled up today. It won't lay flat. Anyway, so shuffle right to the front of your mat. So you've got plenty of room behind you to roll back. And just like we did standing, we're going to have our feet hip distance planted into the floor. Your knees are bent, and your knees and your feet are in line with the bony parts of your hips at the front. The feet are not too close, they're not too far away. So you can comfortably have your legs, your feet flat on the mat. Now wrap the hands around the back of your legs, your thighs, and lift yourself up nice and tall. So you might already feel the upper back working. And we're going to try to let those shoulders relax. Lift nice and tall, and take a deep breath in. As you exhale, tuck your pelvis under and try to scoot back, creating this lovely curve through the spine as you straighten the elbows, and we're rolling back towards the mat about halfway. So we're still holding on to the legs. Chin has slightly tucked. We're tucking the tailbone under. We're rolling our hip bones in towards our rib cage. We keep that curve as we come up. Shoulders go over the hips. And then can you restack all the way up through the spine? Again, we curve back, shoulders away from the ears. We find our lovely scoop. Doesn't have to be too low at all. And we see if we can pull the belly button in just a little bit more. And then we slowly come up and we'll sit nice and tall. Maybe we can lift even taller. We go again, just a couple more times here. And you can practice any of these exercises for longer if you want to as well. And kind of just building you up with these routines to allow you to find that awareness and really understand the exercises. Good. On this last one, use the hands to bring you all the way down onto the mat. And we're going to have the head rested on the mat. I should probably have a block at this point. So my head hangs quite far back just because I'm so tight through the chest, I'm a little bit rounded through the shoulders. Haven't got one with me, but if you would like a block or a pillow behind your head, that will really help you lengthen that neck out, then do. Find that gap again underneath the neck, underneath the lower back, and find your hips nice and in line. So let your hip bones, your hands fall onto your hips. Legs haven't changed, so they're still not too far away, not too close. Feel the shoulder blades pressing into the mat, pulling the belly button away from your clothing. And feel those warm cups of tea, coffee balanced on your hips. You're staying nice and steady. Good. When you're ready, we're going to lift one leg to tabletop, like we've done before, but we're going to add a bit more. So remember, tabletop is where we've got our shin parallel to the ceiling, knee on top of the hip, and then we slowly place that leg down and switch to the other leg. So we lift the other leg up, tabletop, and then we lower down. So we've done this the last couple of weeks. And remember, I want you to do this with control. There's no moving through the pelvis. You're also making sure that as you tap the leg down, you're not doing it harshly, it's soft. And you're not unfolding, straightening through the leg. The movement's coming from the thigh bone. Okay, this time, keep your right leg lifted. Pull your back down towards the mat. So remember, a flat back is called imprint or imprinted spine. That's also safe. We don't want any extreme arching. So remember, neutral, a little gap, or a flat back. As you now lift your second leg. Now, if your back really starts to arch up, I don't want you to do this one yet, okay? Practice the other one first. Then when you're ready, we'll lower. So we've got both legs up. Then we lower one, nice and slow. Pull the belly button in, and then the second leg comes down. Okay, we're going to do that again, but we're going to lift the other leg first. So we're going to lift the left. We hold it here, we prepare. Exhale, we lift a second leg. We hold for a moment, and then we place one leg down slowly, and then the other leg down. Okay, let's do one more time on each side. So we'll start with the right leg coming up first. We're going to hold, take a deep breath in. Exhale, we lift the second leg to tabletop. Shins are parallel to the ceiling, knees are on top of the hips. We slowly place the right leg down in that right angle. Back doesn't rise. Second leg comes down. If you're feeling any pulling through the back, go back to one leg at a time. Lift the left, lift the right. We're going to hold it here, and then we lower the left, and we lower the right. Good. If you need to have a quick full body stretch, go for it. Okay, and then when you're ready, place the feet back down to the mat. And this time, we're going to interlace the fingers behind the head. So the elbows are not too wide, so our arms are not flat, but the arms are not too hugged in. We're somewhere in the middle. Really important, if you have neck, back, or shoulder pain, I don't want you to do this one. Skip this exercise. Otherwise, we'll take a deep breath in to prepare. Exhale, we're going to nod the chin slightly to the chest, but we're going to use the abs to pull us up. So we're not yanking on the neck. And I want you to have a fist distance between your chin and chest. So imagine you've got an orange. You don't want to squash it, so your chin's not all the way in, but you don't want it to roll away. So your head's somewhere in the middle. From there, it's like you're trying to draw your belly button in to lift your chest towards your legs rather than yanking on your neck. And you're trying to come up to the tips of the shoulder blades. And then we slowly lower back down. Let's do that another 3 or 4 more times. We take a deep breath in. Exhale, we nod the chin. We continue to come up. We use those abs to pull us up. Now, make sure the pelvis is steady. Our cups of tea are still nice and balanced, and we lower down. And we go again. Exhale, we slowly come up. And we lower down. Can we do that one last time? Keep those feet planted into the mat. We nod the chin. We're peeling bone by bone like a sticker, peeling off of the mat. And then we lower down. Good. We're going to add on more to that next week. But for now, open your arms out to the side with your palms facing up. Arms are about shoulder height. You're melting into warm sand, so feel the back of the head, the back of the hands, back of the arms, melting into the mat. And then we're going to squeeze the legs together. So I want you to feel those inner thighs. And we're going to do the side low as we did last class, but we're going to add a bit more. So when you're ready, lead from your pelvis and start to tip over to the right. So you peel off and you roll onto the outside of your right foot. From here, we're going to hold. We feel the opposite rib cage anchoring down to the floor, and we extend our left leg out nice and long to that side, but keeping the legs glued together. We fold that knee back in. We bring the legs back together. We roll back through center, and we go to the other side. So we let our pelvis lead, legs just follow. Roll onto the outside of the left foot. You feel your rib cage anchoring down as you stretch your right leg nice and long out to the side, keeping the legs together. So you're just really unfolding from the knee. We squeeze the leg back and we come back to center. Let's do that just a couple more times. We're going to roll over to one side. You feel the opposite rib cage anchoring down. We lengthen that left leg out. We feel the back of the head, the shoulder blades on the mat. We fold that leg back in and we come all the way back to center. And we go to the other side. We roll across. We lengthen the leg out. We fold back in and we come back to center. Good. From here, place the hands onto the hips and step your feet in a little bit closer. So legs are going to go back to hip distance. Apart, parallel, but you stepping your feet in so your heels are underneath your knees. Okay, holding on to your pelvis. We're going to do the pelvic tilts we did before, but we're going to roll up a bit more. So when you're ready, imagine you've got a little marble on your stomach, a little ball. You're going to roll it towards you, flattening your back into imprint. Feel the gap between the ribs and the hips closing, but feel your shoulder blades still on the mat. From there, without using your glutes or your legs yet, use the abs to curl your tailbone off of the mat and just hold it here. Maybe come up a little higher so the lower back is off of the mat. Let your glutes relax. We're not going to use them just yet. And then we're going to roll back down to that flat back. And then we're going to tilt back to a nice natural curve. Yeah, we're going to go again. We're going to flatten the back. We shorten the gap between the ribs and the hips. We roll that marble towards us. We keep peeling. Feel the spine peeling off bone by bone as we come up just halfway. Hips are nice and level. Watch that your knees haven't opened or closed. If you want to stick a pillow between the knees, that can help. And then we'll roll back down bone by bone. We'll do that just a couple more times. Feel the back of the head and the shoulders on the mat. We roll the pelvis in. We feel the belly button pulling down. We peel up through the lower back just a little bit. We hold. We press even weight into the feet, and then we slowly roll back down through the spine. Can we do that one last time? We flatten our back into the mat. Press through the feet. We start to peel up bone by bone. And then we slowly roll down to our neutral. And then we hug our knees into the chest and we have a little release. We can have a little rock from side to side, back and forth. Good. Let's roll onto our side. So we haven't done side work yet. We've been on our side, have we? Maybe. We've been seated, but I don't think we've been on our side. So we're going to roll over onto, it doesn't matter which side you go. I'm on my left with my right leg on top, but it's up to you. You can mirror me or you can do the same. You're going to lay down into the mat and you're going to tuck your underneath arms so it's like a pillow for your head. If this is not comfortable, have your head in your hand, and if you need the arm in front, that's fine. Just find a nice comfortable position. So your underneath leg, we can bend the knee slightly, but the top leg, we're going to try straighten it out long. Now try to use either the back or the front of your mat to line yourself up, so the back of your pelvis, your shoulders, your head are all in line with the back of the mat. And we're trying to slightly pull up through our waist. It's not necessarily going to lift off of the floor, but we're trying to find length. So our hips are nice and stacked. They're not sinking, they're not rolling forwards. And again, another drink here. Cup of tea is balanced on your hip. When you're ready, top arm can relax in front, so it can just rest into the floor. On your exhale, you're going to lift the top leg away from the mat to about hip level, and just hold it for me, and then lower it back down. So all we are doing today is thinking about lifting and lowering the leg without tipping, without sinking into the waist, and whilst keeping that lovely control. Why do I feel like the camera's so far? Carry on, guys. I feel like the camera is so far over. Archie's on the move. Just do that a couple more times for me. Lift and lower. I can't see the camera when I'm here. A lot of you will know that I am blind. Hi, Arch, what's the matter? And I can't see the camera, so I don't know where I've put it. Yeah. There's a whole thing on my Instagram. Oh, Archie Guide Dog is joining us. When you're ready, sit nice and tall. Swivel yourself over to the other side. And let's go again on the other side. So on the other side, we're going to do the exact same thing. Archie's going to block the camera and give me a wash. So line yourself up with the back of the mat. Find a comfortable position with your arms, just like we did on the other side. And bend the underneath leg. Oh, lovely arch. And straighten the top leg. Find that length through the waist and find your hips nice and level with an imaginary drink balanced on the top. And we'll take a deep breath in, and as we exhale, we'll lift that top leg. As you lift the leg, find that lovely length through the waist, and then we'll slowly lower. So we're just really trying to find this lovely control and balance, and often we can try lift the leg really high, and that's not what we're going for. We're going for control. We're trying to keep this lovely stability through the pelvis and length through the waist. Good, just go a couple more times here, just keeping it really nice and light and gentle. We go again. And lower. Good. When you're ready, bring yourself onto your front. Now here's where I'm worrying about the microphone, because I feel like I'm going to squish it. So we'll see how that goes. I might have to change it, I don't know. But we're going to bring ourselves down onto our front. I might just lift my head a little bit higher. But you're going to place one hand on top of the other with your elbows slightly sticking out to the side. Archie's had enough. And if you bring the pads of your thumbs together, it should create this little triangle. He's laying in the sun. Oh, he loves the sun. Anyway, should I show you quickly? Let me quickly show you him. He's over here in the sun. You can see him. Absolutely loves it. Is it still recording? I hope so. Are you enjoying that? So, sorry. I've probably messed up the whole setup now. But yeah, you want to bring your pads of the thumbs together and rest your head onto the mat. And I want you to make sure that the shoulders haven't rounded forward. So we want to feel the shoulders gliding down our back. And you can almost imagine they're gliding down into the back pockets of your trousers, if you had pockets on them. And you're going to let your nose now drop into the gap, what you've made with your thumbs, a triangle. And your forehead will rest on your hands. I'm going to stay up a little bit so you can hear me. Send your legs nice and long. Really important here, we don't sink into the back. So I don't want you to just relax. I want you to pull the belly button away from the mat and roll your pelvis slightly in towards you. So your tailbone is lengthened. And when you're ready, take a deep breath in, and you're going to run your nose along your hand until the tip of the nose leaves the hand. And then from there, see if you can lengthen just the upper back and the chest away from the floor. And then slowly lower back down. Place the nose into the gap. And then go again. Run your nose like a paintbrush along your hands. Start to lengthen. And just see if you can lift the chest and the upper back. No weight or pressure going in your lower back. And then lower back down. And we go again, we come up. This is really hard trying to do this whilst trying not to cover the mic. And then lower back down. And then do that one last time. We run the hand along, the nose along the hand. We start to lift. We lift just the upper back and the chest. Legs stay down. And then we slowly lower back down. Good. Bring yourself up onto your hands and knees. And what I'm going to do in the next session, we're going to build on that a little bit more. But for now, let's come back up onto our hands and knees, and we'll find our lovely box that we found a couple of times. So hands are going to be spread nice and wide underneath the shoulders. Equally, if you need more padding or you need to go up onto your fists, that's okay. You're not sinking into the shoulders, so really make sure you push the floor away. Knees are underneath your hips, hip distance apart. And your back is not sinking. It's not rounding. You might want to do a couple of our cat stretches or wiggles from side to side to find where you're in the middle. So find a nice flat back. You've got a tray of food on your back. You don't want to spill it. So we're going to add on to what we did before. So we're going to reach our opposite arm to leg nice and long at the same time. So your left leg is reached behind you on the floor, right arm's in front. We're then going to see if we can take the arm and leg just to the corners of the mat without changing the weight through the rest of the body. They stay on the floor. We swing it back to where we just started. And then this time, can we lift the arm and leg up? Leg goes to hip level, arm goes up to shoulder height. We tap back down. We stay lengthened as the arm and leg taps on the floor, and then we draw back in. If you need a little break in between, sit back and then go again. So we take it slow. We go on the opposite side this time. We reach long. We find that length. We then take the arm and leg to the corners of the mat. We draw back to center. We pull those abdominals in so there's no sinking into the back as we lift the arm and leg up. We tap back down, keep the leg and arm long. We draw back in. So we just do that a couple more times. We're going to reach. We take it to the corners. We try to keep our hip bones facing down. We come back to center. We pull those abs in as we lift and reach up. Superman, Superwoman, we tap down and we draw it in. Just do one more time to the other side for me. We find that length. We take them to the corners. We come back to center. We use those abdominals. We lift the arms, the legs. We pull those abs in. We tap back down. We stay nice and long. And then we draw in and we sit back for a moment. So we sit back towards the heels, we stretch the arms, we give the wrists a little rotate, and we take a moment just to breathe. I have one last little bit and then you're done. Okay, and then I want you to practice this over the next couple of weeks before you do the next one. So we come back up into box and we're going to work a little bit into the upper body. We're going to work the abs. It's pretty much full body this because I'll show you. So on the hands and knees, make sure we're back in that nice flat back position. We're going to tuck the toes under. By the way, if you need to go on your forearms instead, that's okay. Okay, so tuck the toes under and we're going to take a deep breath in. On your exhale, you're going to hover your knees an inch or two off the mat, barely anything. And then we slowly drop them back down. And again, maybe you sit back for a moment, have a breather. And then we come up and we go again. We're going to hover the knees an inch or two off the mat, feeling the hands pressing into the mat. We slowly drop the knees down. We take a breather. And we go again. We hover up. Inch or two. We tap back down. Maybe sit back, have a rest. So carry on with that for a moment. What I want you to imagine is that you're on a thin layer of ice. And as you lift the knees and bring them down, I want you to imagine that you're trying not to break the ice and you're trying not to slide. So you're really gentle, you're really steady with that movement. Let's go one more time here. We're going to lift the knees. Maybe we hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We soften the knees and we sit back. So we're going to finish in child's pose today. So we sit back, we drop the head. Maybe we have the feet together, the knees open. We stretch the arms long. Or maybe we have the hands underneath the head. And we take a moment here just to breathe. Take a moment to allow the body, the mind to settle if you feel maybe it's been challenging to remember everything. And then we slowly roll up. And you are done for part 3. So I am going to do one more part. I was going to leave it at 3, but I feel like I want to do one more to kind of round everything off. So join me again. Make sure you are subscribed and you click the bell button, because that will allow you to be notified when the last one goes up. And yeah, leave me a comment down below and let me know how you're doing, and if there's any exercises that you think, oh, this is more challenging than I thought, or this is easier than I thought. But anyway, have an amazing day otherwise, and I'll see you next time for another one. Take care. Bye.